Well, hello there and welcome back to my channel, or of course welcome to my channel if you're new. If you are new, then hello, lovely to meet you. My name is Alex, and if you are new here, make sure you stick around and subscribe. If you're not new and you've been here for a while, then why not make sure that the notification bell is switched on just so you're notified of every single time that I upload. Now for today's video, I have an exciting one because I am going to be testing a whole new collection by Revolution. They have expanded on their Cannabis Sativa range again. They did already do an extension maybe last year, but they have massively extended it again. So part of this new collection, you get a face primer, you get a lip oil, a lip scrub, a mascara, and then very excitingly you get not one but 2 eyeshadow palettes. I don't want this intro to be too long because I have a feeling this is going to be a long video. I will show you what everything looks like as we go along. I'm going to be doing swatches, literally going through absolutely everything with you. So if you want to see that, please keep watching, and let's start with the primer. Okay, so let's firstly test out the primer. This is the Blowout Cannabis Sativa Face Primer. This is what the packaging looks like, and this actually costs £10, so it's quite pricey for a face primer by Revolution, but it could be really good. This is also in glass packaging, so this is what the bottle looks like, and inside you get 25ml. I'm just going to read up what this says online because I'm not actually too sure what this is supposed to do. Introducing the Revolution Good Vibes Blowout Primer, the perfect base for long wearing makeup application. Infused with cannabis sativa and vitamin E, the primer creates a smooth canvas for your foundation. Okay, that sounds really good. Just gonna pump maybe just 2 and a bit pumps. It is a like clear sort of liquid. I'm just gonna rub together. Oh, it has like a minty freshness to it. Okay, so this is the primer on. It's all sunk in, and as you can see, it's tacky, it's sticky. That is going to help your foundation last longer, which is something that I personally need because I have a combination skin type. It's kind of like the Milk Hydra Grip and the e.l.f. like mini melt primer, very same texture and finish. So I really like this. I did say about the Simpsons one that I do still need the pore filling primer on my cheeks, but I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to see how my foundation looks just with this primer on underneath. Okay, so that is the primer on. I'm now going to hop off of camera. I'm going to put the rest of my makeup on, and then I'll be back to test the rest of the products and also tell you how the foundation goes on top of this primer. Okay, so I've got the rest of my makeup on now, and this is what I'm looking like. So this is the area of concern I usually have, but to be honest with you, I think they actually look quite smooth, and my pores, considering I haven't put a pore filling primer on, are actually not really showing through that much, which is, I mean, a good thing. But with the Simpsons one, I could definitely still see my pore area like quite a lot. Obviously I can still see my pores, and I will always see my pores no matter what primer or foundation I use, but I think it's done a really good job at smoothing that area. Like, I definitely agree that it does give you a bit of a smooth canvas for your whole makeup, and I really like the way that my base is looking right now. I don't think I look particularly dry or anything. All my face is like completely matte. I'm going to see what my foundation looks like at the end of this video because sometimes my oils do come through quite quickly, so that will be really interesting to see as for the longevity part. But for how it actually looks on my skin, my face looks really smooth and I'm really impressed. Okay, so let's have a little look at these lip products. So firstly, we do have the chilled lip scrub with cannabis sativa. This is the packaging. It is super cute. I love the packaging. And then, yeah, this is a lip scrub stick. So this is what it looks like. Sorry, I just had to give it a bit of a sniff. And you know what? This actually smells amazing. It smells really, really sweet. I love that. This is £8, so it's not a cheap lip scrub. I think £8 is quite a lot for a lip scrub, but this could be amazing. So let's just put this on my lips and see what happens. I'm not sure if I was supposed to eat that because it doesn't taste very nice. Yeah, see, it says wipe excess off, so I would advise not to eat that. I started to eat it and I was like, yeah, this doesn't taste like sugar. I mean, it probably is sugar, but it doesn't taste very nice, so don't eat it. It does leave behind a little bit of a residue, like from whatever's congealed all the lip scrub together, which is actually really soft on your lips. This is what they look like afterwards, and I mean, I feel like the lip scrub did a great job at scrubbing my lips. Now let's put the lip oil on top. So this is actually called the Chilled Bomb Cannabis Sativa Infused Lip Oil. So this looks exactly like their like shimmer bombs and products like that, just with the cute packaging. It's got that same mintiness to it that the primer had. I wonder if this is gonna like plump your lips. I knew as soon as I smelt it that this was going to be a lip tingling product. So if you don't like that sensation on your lips, you're not going to like this. I wonder if it mentions that on the website actually, because I didn't look. Interesting. So I've just looked on the website and it doesn't actually mention that this is going to tingle your lips. So if you don't like that sensation on your lips, would not recommend. However, if you do love the plumping tingly effect, then you are going to like this. I just knew as soon as I smelled it, I was like, that smells like a lip plumping gloss to me, and it just feels really cold on my lips. It's not really painful. I just can obviously feel that I've got a bit of cold tingliness to them, if that makes sense. Okay, so the rest of this video is eye related. We have 2 eyeshadow palettes and a mascara. So 2 eyeshadow palettes, did not see that coming. I was expecting them to do like a big Cannabis Sativa palette because they did the big Allure one and the mini, but I wasn't expecting an additional palette as well. So let's firstly take a look at this little one. This is called the Good Vibes Chilled Vibes palette. This is what it looks like. Love the packaging. I assume that this is £12 because it is a Forever Flawless palette. And yes, it is. So this is £12, the big one is 20. This is what this smaller palette looks like. This is definitely got a lot of light mint greens, and then you have your neutral shades in there as well. It is quite a light palette. If you eliminate maybe like those 2, it's very light, as you can see. But I am going to use both palettes for today's look just because I feel like they would both work really well with each other. So you do get a silver glitter here, you get a mixture of shimmers and mattes. I think there are more shimmers than mattes, but I think there is quite an even ratio. I'm definitely going to incorporate these like paler greens in today's look. So that's what the smaller palette looks like. And then this massive one is the Extra Chilled Limitless palette, and I think this is basically just a bigger version of the original chilled palette. So this is what it looks like. It has a lot more darker greens in here, and then it has 3 shades down the middle. So I'd say this palette looks a lot like the original chilled one. In fact, there is probably dupes of that in here because I'm pretty sure the mini Allure had all shades that are in the normal size Allure, so they've probably duped some of the shades. But I just find in here you've got the much darker greens, you've got a dark green glitter, another dark green glitter, and a silver glitter again. And I do love these green colour stories. Like when the first chilled palette released, I was so excited because it was such a beautiful green colour story, kind of different to what they had done before. And now they've extended on the range. So I'm definitely going to do a look incorporating both of those palettes. But firstly, let's get into the swatches. Okay, so this is the entire small palette swatched. This is what it looks like. It is quite light, as I said. I do love the green shimmers in here though. And the glitter has a really good formula to it. It kind of just like all picked up and swatched really well. It's not super crumbly or anything, and I don't have glitter flying everywhere, which is what normally happens. And look how good it looks. In terms of the mattes, quite light, but I am going to definitely use these lighter green ones to incorporate in the look, because I think I'll definitely need them because there isn't really any light shades in the big palette. But yeah, so the swatches are not too bad. I just mainly love the shimmers in this palette and the two lighter green mattes. So let's swatch the bigger palette. Okay, so this is the first half of the big palette swatch plus the 3 in the middle. So the shimmers in here feel really, really smooth. The mattes, especially these darker ones, they don't swatch the best. They're still obviously there and you can see them, but they're not super duper pigmented. There is a couple glitters on this side. You've got another silver, which I don't think is necessary because you've got the silver in the small palette, but then again, not everyone's going to buy both palettes. And then you have this dark green glitter here, which is absolutely beautiful. I think this one was actually in the original Cannabis Sativa palette as well. But yeah, I love that there's a lot more depth in this palette and it will definitely work well with the smaller one. But let's watch the rest of the palette. Okay, and this is the other half of the palette. This is definitely my favourite part of the palette. I love this green here. I'm definitely using that today. There's another glitter in here. This is a more darker green glitter. I'm not really a massive fan of glitters in palettes, to be honest. Like, I definitely just won't use them, but that's just my opinion. Other people would probably absolutely love glitters. A lot more depth on this side in terms of mattes. We've got some more shimmers and I really like the variation in this palette. I think there's really beautiful tones in here and I cannot wait to create a look with this, so let's get into it. Okay, so I've just primed my eyes with the Revolution Super Base. I've also got some major stainage from the eyeshadow palette. So let's just get into the look. So I think firstly I'm going to head into the big palette. Do you know what this is missing though? Is a black. I feel like that would have just topped it off for me. I would have been well impressed if there was a black in here. So because of that, I'm actually going to start off with the shade Trip, which is this very dark, murky kind of green. It's very beautiful, and I'm going to put that in my outer corners. Then I'm going to stick to the big palette and I'm going to take this green here, if I can point to it, called Plant. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to blend that just above that dark shade. I'm not going to bring it front. I'm not going to bring it to the front of my lid just yet, but I'm just going to use it to essentially buff out the top edges of this shade. Then I'm going to take the shade Leaf, which is this one here. So I'm going to blend that at the top again, but I'm now going to bring it to the front of my lid. Okay, now we're going to go into the smaller palette and I'm going to take the shade CBD, which is this Power Mint Pastel here. And that is going to be used to buff out this Leaf shade. Then in with the palest green, which is called High. This one, that is not High. This is High. This one here, it's very, very milky green sort of shade, but I'm just going to use it to blend at the very, very, very top edges. Okay, so these are the matte shades on my lid. I'm now going to go back through every single one, reblend, rebuff, make it all look very sexy, and then I'll be right back to put a shimmer on the lid. I'm going to take this shade here, and you know what? I'm not even going to bother trying to pronounce that, but it is like a yellowy gold sort of shade, and I'm going to put that kind of all over the front of my lid. So it is quite a squishy texture, but I am going to take some on a brush just to do the finishing touches that I didn't apply very well with my finger. Then I'm going to take the shade Mist, which is this dark green shimmer here, and I'm going to use that to blend out the outer edges. Then I'm going to finish off the look completely with the small palette. So with this, I'm going to take the dark brown in this palette, which is called Energy, and I'm going to put that all across my lower lash line. Then I'm going to take the shade Vibrations, which is this one. It's a very, very pale mint green shimmer. Oh yeah, and I'm going to put that in my inner corners of brown bone. Okay, so this is my completed eye look with both of the new Cannabis Sativa palettes. Very, very beautiful quality palettes. I love the look that I created today. I don't do green looks an awful lot, and I love this collection because of that. It just brings out, it just reminds me of how much I love green eyeshadow. So that is the look complete. We now have one product left to test, and that is the new Blowout mascara. This is high volume waterproof mascara. Okay, didn't see that it was waterproof. Not a massive fan of waterproof mascaras. It says for volume, length and durability, this is a must-have. Infused with Cannabis Sativa, the mascara helps to nourish each individual lash, and the waterproof formula ensures your lashes will withstand the worst weather conditions. So I never actually tried the original Blowout mascara. I'm pretty sure this maybe just be the same thing, but waterproof. I don't know. Let's just put it on and see what it looks like. So what's the wand look like? Okay, so this is the wand. Very like bristly, but I think are they plasticky? Plasticky, bristly wand? I don't know. Not my favourite type of wands, but let's see what it does to my lashes. Okay, so I'm back. I've applied all the mascara and this is what my lashes are looking like. So up close, as you can see, they have some nice volume to them, I'm gonna be honest. I'm quite impressed with that. It did, however, take me about, you know, 5 minutes to just perfect the mascara to how I like it. At first I was a bit like, oh no, I'm not gonna like this mascara, but the more that I built it up, the more I liked it, and I have a feeling that once you use this mascara a few times, it's gonna get better and better as well. Is it my favourite mascara I've ever used? Absolutely not. I prefer mascaras that are super quick. They thicken the lashes, they volumise the lashes as well. This does do a great job at volumising the lashes like it claims. So it does do what it says on the tin. It's just not my favourite type of mascara, plus it's waterproof, which is something I don't like either. But you definitely have to let me know down below what you think, because I think it didn't do a bad job whatsoever on my lashes and did what it claims. So those are all the products tested. I'm now going to zoom out. I'm probably going to throw a lip on because I don't think I want to end the video with nothing on my lips, but they feel really good actually since putting the lip oil and lip scrub on them. I think I'm just going to put a lipstick on, maybe like a brown lipstick. Oh yes, that would look so good. So I'm going to do that and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I'm back and this is my completed look. I'm obsessed. So this is what I look like up close. Love it, absolutely love it. So for my lips, as soon as I said brown lipstick, I was like, I know exactly which one I'm going for. This is the Colourpop Lippy Stick in, oh, I don't know if this is a shade, oh, Pitch. This was part of their black collection. Okay, now finally we can sit down and talk about the makeup we tested out today. So firstly, the primer. I love the way it went on my skin. I love how it felt on my skin. I feel like it did help the foundation stick down, and I mean, I'm not peeking through any oils or anything, so I do feel like this does help out the longevity of your foundation. Obviously the proper test would be for it to wear it all day, but I'm not going to be doing that right now, just for the time I am sitting down filming my oils and not peeking through. So very good for the start of longevity, and I really like the tackiness of it, and it made my skin look really, really smooth, which I didn't find with the Simpsons one. So this is a really nice smoothing, tacky sort of primer. If that sounds like a bit of you, then I definitely recommend this. The lip care products are cute. I think this is expensive for what it is. You literally use any lip scrub. You don't have to particularly use this one. This is just in a stick form. It is slightly easier to apply to your lips, but do you need to spend £8 on this little amount of lip scrub? Definitely not. And the lip oil, I don't think is going to be to everyone's taste, because it does give you that, you know, that minty sensation on your lips. However, it doesn't really hurt or properly sting, which is good, but if you don't like that cooling effect, then you're not going to like this. But I think it's definitely different to what they've released before, so I really like this. In terms of the eyeshadow palettes, I do love that they incorporate a brand new palette to this collection. I love the packaging on this, and the colour story of this is nice, but do I think it's anything super innovative and something you desperately need to pick up? No. However, if you haven't got the original Sativa palette and you want to pick up this bigger version, I do feel like these work really nicely together. Obviously that is quite a pricey way of doing it, but I do recommend them both together because then you get the really light pastel shades to finish off your blending. If you do have the original Cannabis Sativa palette, I don't know if you necessarily need to pick up this bigger version. If I'm honest, I don't think there's entirely that much different between this and the original one. I just checked, and if you do have the original palette, you actually don't need this. There's 2 shades that are in the medium palette that are not in here. Every other shade is in this palette. So if you've already got the original, I would not spend your money on this because you don't need to. Obviously, I know there's a lot more shades in this palette, but if you have that one, you predominantly have the good shades that are in this palette from that original one. I'd say the extra shades are mainly just extra shimmers. I honestly wouldn't recommend picking this up if you have the original one, but that is good to know. Now that I have the bigger version, I'm probably going to get rid of my medium one because I have this and I can just declutter that one. In terms of the quality of them, they are very good quality. There are definitely a few different formulas when it comes to these palettes. There's mattes, there's normal shimmers, there's the squishy shimmers, there's glitters, so you do have a lot more different formulas to play with in these palettes, and I really love the colour stories of them. I'm glad I have picked them up, even though I have already got the majority of the shades from the medium palette. I am glad that I picked all of this collection up because I think it's very, very beautiful, and again, I love the look that I created today. Lastly, the mascara. I've already spoken about this. It's not my favourite, but I definitely think it will get better the more you use it, and I did think it did a good job at volumizing my lashes, and it's a very good natural everyday mascara if that's more of your thing. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this video up here. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please let me know by smashing the thumbs up button. Let me know down below what you think of this collection, and of course, if you haven't already, please subscribe down below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.